will call the meeting to order. It is 7 o'clock on Tuesday, March 10th, 2026 of the Tuscarora Township regular board meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Tom?
Here.
Trudy?
Here.
Lori?
Here.
John?
Here.
Laura, here. We have a quorum.
Okay. Any board member conflict of interest? No conflict, board member conflict of interest statement. Public comment on agenda items opens at 7:02. I don't know if that's on, Janet. Will you check it, please?
It is now.
Thank you.
Okay, before I start, I just want to pass these out. Here you go, one for everybody. One is a sample for an RFP, the other is a sample, well, the approved EPA work plan. Members of the board, I want you to be aware that the Phase 3 effort has been stalled for the past 15 months by the Township without board approval and in spite of the $1 million in congressional funding that was secured for this purpose. It is because of this prolonged delay that Phase 3 residents have banded together, and I am here today to address this issue. The citizens affected within Phase 3 proposed project area are concerned that the Township board members are either unaware of the immediate need for sewer expansion or are not taking the need seriously. This board needs to amend the agenda and take immediate action to move forward with the RFP with request for proposal for engineering bids for the PER, which is the preliminary engineering report. The supervisor has mentioned to go out with the RFP within 2 weeks, but needs board approval to do that. The facts. In 2022, the Township received informal petitions representing 68% of the land mass in the proposed district. The board approved them, and based on those petitions, sought funding to facilitate a Phase 3 sewer expansion. The Township received a $1 million EPA grant with an approved revised work plan that specifically designates $35,000 of that grant for a Phase 3 PER, along with plant upgrades to accommodate the Phase 3 addition. The homes in the Phase 3 area are 40 to 50 years old and are reaching the end of life for their septic systems. Their choices are stark. Connect to the existing sewer system, which has always been part of the plan, or accept that the board has failed them and replace their septic systems at their own cost. So, connecting to the existing sewer system would be 1, a permanent solution to their septic problems, 2, protection of the water wells from contamination, protection of treasured inland waterways for continued pollution, lower cost than replacement of septic fields, financial viability through available grants and loans. If they have to replace their existing septic system, this would mean only a temporary fix, little protection for the inland waterways since replacements would be sporadic, drinking water would still be at risk, mandatory raised mounds for most properties because of the high water table, and costs of $40,000 or more at their own expense since no access to loans or grants would be available. The Phase 3 residents are frustrated. They want more from their elected officials than lip service, excuses, and deflection. Now is the time for the board to stop wasting time and move forward immediately with the PER. Please direct the supervisor to advertise an RFP within 2 weeks, which I gave the sample to you. Amend the agenda to include authorization of the RFP today. Thank you.
Any other public comments on agenda items?
I will try to be brief. I would like to thank Trustee Hutchinson for stepping up as a FOIA coordinator that is well outside the scope of a trustee. I would just like to remind the board that it's ultimately the responsibility of the clerk to maintain records. I would like to address this FOIA situation. It's kind of been the source of some controversy. I personally have submitted 3 FOIAs over the last 15 months. All were fulfilled in a timely manner at no cost to me, so thank you for that. The board and the public may be wondering, though, why these FOIAs have increased, and that's kind of what I'd like to address. It seems like some of the responses have been incomplete, and I have a concrete example of that. So there were multiple correspondences from the Michigan Department of Treasury dated months before my FOIA request and within the period I requested. The only reason we discovered them is because they were posted to the Treasury website in January with the audit. Both of them were topical, relevant, within my timeline. Some might even say they were incriminating. One was a request for a filing extension that was denied. The other was putting the township on notice that it missed the filing deadline and resulted in the township's inability to borrow money. The more significant issue is that neither of those situations were ever disclosed or discussed in a public forum. The other agencies that were part of this correspondence, they're all subject to FOIA as well. So, you know, just to make a point, FOIAs are not punitive. They're not clerical nuisances. They're a result of a lack of transparency and, frankly, a lack of confidence that things are being performed properly. You know, that public money is not being wasted on fines or late fees, and that, you know, the board's really doing the right thing at the right time. You know, how many decisions have been made outside of a public meeting that we don't know about? Please don't rush to provide us an answer in the short term that proves incomplete in the long term, and it appears that that's already happened. I'm also worried about page 108 of tonight's agenda. It's so intentionally vague that it prevents anyone from knowing what the intention is. It's sewer related. It wasn't brought up in the sewer meeting earlier, so I'm worried about that. On a more positive note, ending on a positive note, addressing another agenda item, I am proud to be associated with Becky Fetting and Ronan's place. She is a valued Kiwanis member. She was last year's Hickson Medal Award winner, and she's always ready to support our community. I am pleased to offer my full support to that agenda item, both as the Vice President of the Indian River Kiwanis and personally, to suggest or recommend that you approve her request later in the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
What's your name, please?
Ronan Wall.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm one of the folks that's been supporting Phase 3 and working on it for the last, probably 7 years, I think. So, and I wanted to make sure not everybody in this audience also participates in the sewer meetings. So, and Trudy has committed that she is working toward getting the RFP out in the next few weeks. And I just wanted to explain some background there. The reason that we're so anxious to get the PER started is, one, we have the funding for it, so we can go forward with it, and two, because it'll take 12 to 18 months to get the response back for the PER, and you have to have that done before you can even begin to go for any additional funding or to get to the point of establishing the special assessment district. So it's the reason that we want to move forward with it is because it will take so long to do that part. And as we all sort of see in the press, funding is not going to be as plentiful probably going forward as it has been in the past, and costs are continuing to go up. So our need to get this moving and on the road so that we can get to the next part of the phase is really important to us. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Other comments? No more public comments? Public comment period is closed, 7:10. Okay. Approval of meeting agenda. I would like to add to old business an item 9D, which was tabled from February, Assessor. Actually, I think in February it's referred to as the Assessor Contract, so we'll add that as 9D, please, under old business. We had a recommendation, a suggestion, plead to add the RFP for the PER for Phase 3.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
Put under new business,
Mhm.
H,
Thank you.
PER for phase 3.
RFP.
RFP, yeah.
RFP.
Yeah. Any other meeting agenda? So we need a motion to accept the amended agenda, please.
A motion.
Thank
Support
you.
it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Approval of the previous minutes, I'm sorry, from the February 10th, 2026 meeting.
I need to make a amendment to it. I guess.
Okay.
An amendment. Just do it.
No.
So just kind of some clarity for the FOIA. Madam Clerk asked a question last month in regards to the time frame on the days. I think I kind of left it vague at 5. I just said 5 days from the acknowledgement from the FOIA Coordinator. So just clear that up a little bit. Per the MCL, it's 5 business days from the acknowledgement. So if I were to get one today at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it wouldn't be fair to count that as a full day, I don't think. So for the MCL, it's 5 business days. Just to kind of clear that up.
Okay.
Obviously, weekends and holidays are not included in that business day. Time frame.
So do we want to take out that entire last line? How do you want to amend that? What do you think? The 5 days start, the 5 days. It's an awkward sentence. Just take it out and rewrite it to 5 days.
I think just layman's terms, 5 business days
Yeah.
upon receipt, upon acknowledgement from the coordinator.
Okay. So we'll strike that. Okay, thank you. I have an amendment to the statement regarding, it's at the bottom of page 1, sewer update from performance engineers. If you'll turn to the next page at the top, after the word supplemental $1 million period, I'd like to insert proposed future phase 3, which we assume will be N period, E period of the Indian River, but that has to be established via petition/SAD process. Any other amendments?
No.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes with the added amendment corrections.
I'll support that.
Lori? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Unanimous. Reports. Steve Corporon, please.
Good evening, Steve Copron, Performance Engineers. Brief report tonight. We're seeing some movement, even though the forecast for the middle of next week is back in the teens for a little bit. Frost laws were put on by all the northern counties last week, ranging from Tuesday to Friday. Walton Contracting knew they were going to be putting them on up here on Friday, so they staged their excavator on Thursday down to the vacant lot in between Holden and Birchfield. Their plan is to start excavating on the lift station sites down there at South and Mack Avenue. but they do need to get permission from the road commission to run that excavator and either heavy trucks down there, even if frost laws are still on. And they're hoping they'll say yes, because they're gonna blow those roads up anyway, so they're trying to save the pavement. But their plan right now is to start the week of March 30th to work on those. And then by the middle of April, be ready then to start running some main line, probably down Birchfield. We are meeting with them 2 weeks from tomorrow down at our offices in Charlevoix. The supervisor's accepted. She's going to either attend in person or on the phone, however it works out. But we're just having a pre-season progress meeting, just kind of make sure everybody's on the same page. We'll get a better schedule from them on how things they envision panning out this spring and summer. So that's where we stand with the Phase 2 work right now. Phase 1, Matt's talked to them today. They're planning on starting April 20th, on Monday. They're scheduling people to start, resume grinder pump installations over on the north side of the road. It's tentative. A lot of it depends on the weather and the frost laws in that. But that's their current plan right now. That's most of my report tonight, because nobody's working right now. I did check on the lift stations today, which I usually do when I come up here to make sure things are working.
The drawing, do you want to update us?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was hopefully by today, but it looks like it's going to be probably tomorrow. The last drawing for the addition work at the wastewater plant. And once we have that out of our structural division, we're going to get those packages sent off to EPA and USDA to get their concurrence that we follow the rules, that the specs are written properly. We've got everything there. I put in they don't have to have a new sign, they can just update the current sign over at the wastewater plant, which is what we did last time. So, and hopefully once they concur, then we'll hit the street with that for 30 days and get that project underway. So.
Good deal. Questions?
We have nothing on the agenda for you guys tonight. There's no peer requests, and we're this close to being caught up. The township is on having the contractors paid. There's only 2 outstanding smaller pay requests for mats that Eagles approved, and hopefully we'll have them paid for those 2 little ones. So that'll be good to have everybody caught up finally.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Any questions for me before I take off before the freezing rain?
Yeah. All right, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Clerk report.
We have 14 invoices in the amount of, $105,267.27.
Any questions or comments on that report? Do we have a motion to accept the clerk's report?
I make a motion to accept the clerk's report.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer's report.
I went up to county on Friday, settled with them, paid them what I owe them, and then dispersed everything else I had. So by the time we have a meeting again, we should be down to 0. Went really well. So that's really all I have. Maybe next meeting, I was going to do a diagram, because people keep saying, oh, our taxes are so high, our taxes are so high. And I wanted to show people that the township keeps 9%. Everything else goes to all these other places. So I thought if I had a visual, then people could see where it's going, that it's not coming here, it's going elsewhere. So in case you hear people say that.
Okay. Correspondence, we have gotten some correspondence. Airport Mark is not here. Things are coming along at the airport. They've not been terribly busy, waiting for the weather to break, and it may not.
That's positive.
Well, yeah, it looks like it's coming back. Winter's coming back. DDA, Dan.
DDA is starting to work with Wade Trim on the south extension of the trailway. We're supposed to have a preliminary meeting at 6:30 on Monday night. So if anybody wants to come listen to that, more than welcome. Regular meetings afterwards, which we never get anybody to come to. But, and then we did get our benches back from powder coating, the benches that were refinished down by from the Sturgeon all the way to the trailhead. Those turned out really nice, so we're going to start doing those on a rotational basis instead of having to do them all at one time. They really turned out nice. Everybody really liked the color on them. They're kind of the browns, of the same brown that we have on the street signs. And I think it'll be a little bit easier for people to sit on them in the summer because they're not going to be so hot.
Thanks, Dan.
Any questions?
Nope. FOIA. Jonathan, you want to tackle that?
All 3 FOIA appeals have been completed. Other than that, I think things seem to be going smooth.
Okay.
Little hiccup on my end. I accidentally sent one request back to Trudy and thought I sent it back to the requester, and got an email today, hey, where's my FOIA? I sent that a week ago. No, you didn't. Let me look into that for you. No, I did not. You're correct. So hopefully that was the one and only time that'll happen, but
Yeah.
I think things are going well.
Good, thank you. Library, Kelsey.
Good evening. Okay, so we have a lot of events still in March, so I'm just going to cover a couple of them, but there are more than what I'm going to talk about. So because of the weather reports tonight, we're just going to go on the safe side. Tomorrow's no-sew pet blankets class is going to be next Wednesday instead of tomorrow. So it's still 1 to 3, but it's next Wednesday, the 18th, instead of tomorrow. We're also starting a beginner's chess program. That's next week. Monday, 3:30 to 4:30. You don't need to sign up. You can just show up and come. And he does have our instructor has some chess sets that he'll be handing out that night too. And then that'll be weekly after next week. We're also having a Rosie the Riveter program. That is Tuesday, March 24th, 4 to 5 p.m. It's an organization that's up in Sheboygan and Mid-County. That's the chapter that is going to come and talk. And you can sign up on our website, or definitely feel free to just show up and walk in on that one too. You do not have to sign up. We have our kitten cuddles again this month, and that is Wednesday, March 25th, 1 to 3 p.m. We have plenty of spots still open, so feel free to sign up on our website, and we'll contact you with your 15-minute time slot. It'll be in our meeting room, and you just get to hang out with a bunch of little kittens for 15 minutes. It's very fun. You don't have to adopt any of them to come. It's just supposed to be a distressing program, which I think we could all use. And the Secretary of State mobile office is coming back Monday, March 30th. They'll be here from 10 a.m. to 3:45 p.m. and then they're not coming again until July. So if you have any business, get it done with the March one so you don't have to set up an appointment and actually go to Sheboygan. And other than that, just as a little reminder, we do have felines for fine forgiveness this month to go with our cat theme, March Meowness. So if you have overdue fines, not for damaged or for lost materials, but just overdue, then come to the library, show us a picture of literally any cat. It does not have to be your own cat, and we will waive your fines. So it's just a fun little thing that we're doing for March. So that's it, unless there are any questions. No? Great. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thank you. Parks. No parks.
Oh, yep, we have.
Oh, parks, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Pat.
Pat McGinnis for the Parks Report. At our last meeting, which was 1 week ago, we recommended and passed on to the Township Board that we get a grant writer from NEMCOG. So that motion was made and passed and forwarded to the Township Board. We also had a community grassroots group, which is in the early stages of a discussion about constructing a covered pavilion at Lower Marina Park, behind the trail, in the area currently used for festival tents. The proposed size of this pavilion will be 50 feet by 100 feet, and it will have removable sides. It's going to be used for different community events, summer music series and stuff. And this will be done at no cost to the township if the community group gets together. On the Winterfest post-event review, we identified a couple areas of concern, and Vicki was at the meeting, and we discussed them, and they will be taken care of in the future. Mainly it was with getting some of the stuff out of there, which because of weather delayed it. It wasn't because the town or the chamber was not responding, they just couldn't respond. They also put in the dates of June 19th, 20th, and 21st of this year for the old-fashioned days, which we recommended, and they'll fill out the paperwork and stuff. The Green Dock Keyshock sign update. The frame has been paid for and is in shipping. The design and print work for the actual placards in the design, the target installation will be at the end of April of 2026. And once again, this will be done at no cost to the township. We did decide that we'd do 2 copies of the interface for the face of the stand, one for the stand itself and one for the hallway.
Oh, good.
And the Green Docks, we also have a designated area now for police and emergency usage. It will not prevent people from sitting on the Green Docks in that area. It will just prevent other boats from tying up there, because sometimes the sheriff's department has had to get there quickly, and they come up and the docks just full and trying to get people. It slows everything up and is a public safety concern. We've asked the local police department to come up with the actual verbiage that will be on the sign. We've also discussed and are in discussion with a couple citizens downstream of moving the swim area signs a little farther out from the Green Docks so they see them. We have in place yellow flashing lights that will mount above the signs to help draw attention to the signs. And Doug's all set to get that done once the weather cooperates, if it ever does. In anticipation of Doug Schofield resigning at the end of June, we've asked him to start keeping track of what people are doing in a little better detail, so whoever is interviewed and accepted for that position will know what they're looking at, so we don't get this, well, I didn't understand that or didn't know what was happening. We had the top of the Michigan boat race people ask for a waiver for the boat race, and it will be on August 9th and 10th of this year, and it's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on both Saturday and Sunday, same as it's been for many years. And the sheriff's department will be closing the river during those hours. A proposal was made, and we are looking into it, on putting basketball hoops at the ice pavilion during the summer. These would be retractable hoops so that people could play basketball there while we're figuring out how we're going to get the main basketball courts repaired. And that's about it.
Okay, great, thank you. Chief?
Well, excuse me, one final thing. On the law enforcement signs, we're going to need to get a new ordinance passed to cover that, so that we can have boats removed.
Okay.
I had you covered, Pat, I was gonna bring that up.
Great lead.
So yes, if we are gonna do signage down there, we definitely are gonna have to have some kind of an ordinance, just so we have some kind of leg to stand on if people are parked there.
Okay, we can work, you'll work with us on that.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Just wanted to kind of give you a kind of quick building update because there's gonna be some bills in your packets there and I might be able to help explain some of them.
Yeah.
As far as the building grant, all the work has been done, but now the inspectors are coming to inspect that work. We had an inspector come to inspect Foundations of Michigan. They're the ones that came in and did all the repairs to that south wall. They noticed that they ended up drilling through 2 of our firewalls. They fire caulked it, but state law requires that they put special clamps on there, so if the pipe burns off, the clamp closes and the fire can't penetrate the wall. So, other than that, the inspection went fine, but they did fail us in that regard. They were gonna reach out to Foundations in Michigan. They said that they've worked with this company several times before. They'll just come back and put the clamps on, so. We also had an inspector out for the work that Summit Fire did, all of our fire alarms and audible alarms. That inspection went very well. We were holding back $3,000 though until that inspection was completed. We passed our inspection, so that bill is clear to pay. Our boilers are no longer part, well, I should say, tomorrow our boilers will no longer be on the building water system. Each boiler now has a separate heat exchanger and is now hooked to a glycol system. Ballards also ran over the weekend a cleaning solution to clean both those boilers up and flush them all out really good. Hopefully to get a little bit more longevity on the old boiler that we do have, not the brand new one that was replaced, but the old one that we still have. They are going to, when they're done, do what's called CSD1. It's just one last boiler inspection. We actually have to have that before the state boiler inspector arrives. It should have been done when it was actually, the brand new boiler was installed. And the other thing is because we have increased the BTU levels of our boilers, the CSD1 inspection has to be done every year. And it's because we're over 14,000 BTU. And they combine both boilers. So one's 750, the other one's 750. Prior to that, it was once every 3 years. But because now that we've increased our BTUs, the inspections have to be done annually. We're going to have to add that to our maintenance agreement. Last month, we had an issue with our well. Somehow the well became deadlocked. Doug and I ran all over this building trying to figure out why we didn't have water. I noticed where our water comes into our water softener, we had pressure on one side, there was no pressure on the other. To get water into the building, I just said, well, we'll just bypass it. Great idea. And it worked, except I blew the seals on the pump. And we had a geyser out here.
Oh, yeah.
So Bill Ramsey came down, set up his well thing, we pulled it, had to replace the valves on the well pump. And I want to thank Ramsey Well Drilling. They were here fast. Yes. And within 4 hours they had it fixed. Yes. So there is a bill in there for that. I think it was like almost $500.
Yeah.
So we got a great deal from them.
Yeah.
So, any questions?
No.
Answer all your bill questions?
Yep.
All right.
Hope you feel better.
Yeah, I'm not going to stick around tonight. I'm going to go home.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, old business. Last month, if you recall, we tabled the engineering oversight contract. It is on an as-needed basis. There is a limit of $10,000, a not to exceed for time and materials. That is at the board's written request for them to oversee, for instance, the drawings for the building addition. Okay, it's just on an as-needed basis. We ran into an issue last summer where we needed an additional set of experts, and they stepped up and suggested that we just have a contract with them for time and materials not to exceed $10,000. And once the project's done, we're done. We did put an RFP out for that. We received one response from Mead and Hunt.
Okay.
So I will make a motion to accept that engineering oversight contract with Mead and Hunt as written.
I'll support that.
Thank you. Discussion, questions? If there are no questions, we'll have a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Last month, we need to tighten up. On board, I apologize, I had a duplicate contract in there. You didn't need all that paperwork into the public. You certainly didn't need all those pages to look through. A resolution for the FOIA Coordinator is attached. We need a roll call vote. We missed that last month. It is in here. It will be posted on the website. Do we have a motion to confirm to pass a resolution?
I move that we pass a resolution for the Freedom of Information Act Coordinator as presented.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion, questions? Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
We have Tom,
Yeah, here.
Trudy,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Laura, yes.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Ordinance 19, 19A, 19B, 19C, 19D. We have made a few changes to our ordinances this year, and are trying to get them tightened up and codified. We're not able to do that because in 2024, and the timeline is there, the changes to 19 tried to be codified, and what was trying to be codified had been previously deleted. So I am asking for authorization from the board to work with our attorney to incorporate the 2024 amendments to Ordinance 19D and Ordinance 35, the tall grass and weeds. We recall that was changed from 6 inches to 8 inches. And also authorization to codify the ordinance changes that we've done to date, which is 12A, which we changed the annual meeting of the electors, that it wouldn't be a Saturday. 16A, no parallel parking on South Straits Highway for the snow cleanup. 19D, the history is above. 24A, we amended it to include a penalty consistent with Ordinance 30, driving snowmobiles on the sidewalk, and 35, tall grass and weeds. So I'm asking for authorization from the board to work with the attorney and then to codify the ordinances we've changed as indicated.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
And I'll support that.
Discussion, questions? Gentlemen? No? Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you. Ronan's Place, resolution for Ronan's Place. Ronan's Place, they provided us with some history. I encourage you to take the time to read it if you haven't. They're very active in our community. We had Mr. Odenwald substantiate that as well. They are asking for a resolution.
Didn't you want to add assessor?
Oh, I'm sorry. Correct, thank you. Yes. Moving on, let me back up. under ordinance, I'm sorry, I missed my own amendment to the agenda. The assessor contract, it's just an FYI, we no longer need a contract. Clayton McGovern, Doug is doing very well healing from his open heart surgery. Clayton McGovern is filling in the interim, and he is going to invoice the assessor for his services. So Doug remains our assessor of record. Okay? And again, those services are not to exceed $5,000. That's just an FYI. Thank you, Laura. Okay. We don't have any sewer bills. Steve gave us that timeline. Ronan's Place. They have asked us for a resolution for a gaming license. They plan to do a raffle, and they have a number of fundraisers, and I believe, is there anyone in here who's active? I believe it is in conjunction with the Eat for Heat that they do in the fall. Yes, okay, thank you.
And possibly the friendship dinner on April 10th.
Oh,
I think the thing, this is for the raffle tickets though, so that we, she's gonna get, I think it's about 5,000 raffle tickets for that. Yeah. I
Oh.
was at the meeting.
okay. So they've asked for a resolution approving their gaming license, and the verbiage is in there.
Madam Supervisor?
Yes, sir.
Reading through the documentation, the state is requesting that we certify that they are a 501c3 and all that entails. There are certain documents that we should request from the organization. I've got, if you can pass that down.
Sure.
And I also applaud Ronan's Place for all the good work that it's done, but I think we need copies of some of these documents that they've already submitted to the state in order to get the tax exempt status.
Okay. So, yes, I agree. Are we comfortable upon, I don't want to hold them up another month. Are we comfortable passing this resolution upon receipt of these documents? What is your
My
recommendation?
concern is the state came back and said that these documents should have been submitted prior, and now they're saying, so we're not going to act on it at the state level until the township certifies that everything's in order.
Okay. All right, well, we can call a special meeting.
Yep.
So we'll get with Becky to get the information we need. And then we can call a special meeting to pass the resolution. Okay.
When is the Eat for Heat event?
In the fall.
For the fall?
Okay.
Who's done?
Yeah, we have some time. Okay. Is this my copy, Tom, or did you?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. All right. So we'll get a hold of her. And anyone who is in contact with her, let her know that we'll be back, we'll come back around with this. And then hopefully we can get this done ASAP. Okay. Cleaning services, our cleaning services contract will expire at the end of this month, end of March. So that request for bid is included in the packet. It does not include cleaning the fire department. It's only, I'm sorry.
Police Department.
I'm sorry. Thank you. All right. So it is only for the township building. There's 2 stairwells and hallways and the library. Doesn't include police department. It is attached. Motion to put that out for bid?
I'll make a motion to put this RFP out for bid for cleaning services of the township and the library.
Any changes to the RFP that you saw?
No, that's good.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Questions? Any changes to it?
That's very good.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. We'll get that out. NEMCOG. We have used NEMCOG in the past. I believe that some of the former boards have used them. We are members of NEMCOG. I would ask that the board authorize me to sign the contract with NEMCOG so that they would work on behalf of the township and all the committees within the township to help find and write grants, parks and DDA certainly, and probably the township as well when we get to that point. And again, if NEMCOG is doing work, it is at a reduced hourly rate. And for instance, if NEMCOG is doing work for the pathway and it's 4 hours, that would be paid for by DDA. Similarly, if they were doing work for parks, it would come out of Parks Cost Center. If they're doing work for, say, the sewer, it would come out of those coffers. Okay. Do you have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion to sign the contract with NEMCOG for planning services.
I'll support it.
Thank you. Any questions? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Top of Michigan Outboard Motor Racing Club request for no wake. It's pretty self-explanatory. We've had them how many years? Anyone know?
71.
Wow. That's amazing. That'd be some interesting pictures from back in the day. So we need a motion to authorize that.
I'll make a motion to authorize Top of Michigan Outboard Racing Club to waive the no wake ordinance through the Indian River.
Okay, and that's on Saturday and Sunday?
August 8th and 9th, from
From
11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay, perfect. Do we have support?
Yeah, I'll support that. It's 55 years.
Yeah? Wow,
This year is the 55th
wow,
anniversary.
fun.
Yeah, it's more than that, it's 70-something,
Oh, really? Oh, I just can't even imagine.
longer than we've been breathing.
Yeah, yeah. Any comments, questions? No, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye? Okay.
I'd like to see the boats come back.
I know, I would love to see pictures from back then myself. And again, part and parcel to the NEMCOG grant is the resolution to write the Michigan Recreation Passport Grant. So that's in here, asking the board through roll call vote to authorize us, the township and the parks, to write this grant. It would be with a matching fund. And if you were at the sewer meeting, you may have heard me make a comment that we did receive, we were successful in receiving FEMA reimbursement from the storm last year. So a good portion of that is directly attributable to the parks, approximately 26,000 and change. There remains 30-some thousand. I believe that we are a generous community, and one of the things that NECO has assured me is that one of the things that they will do, and Janet, you alluded to this, there are grants that work together and that are exclusive. So that is something that they would help us to do. So the request is that we would pass a resolution for the township to work with NEMCOG to write the grant, the Michigan Recreation Passport Grant Program, to build the bathrooms down at Depot Beach.
Yes.
Okay, well, any questions, comments? No? Roll call, please.
Tom?
Here. I.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Trudy?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Laura, yes.
Unanimous, thank you. We'll get on that. That'll be nice to get that project done. It's long overdue and been charged after by many. Okay, sewer REU discussion. Looking ahead at the sewer district at its completion. We have the commercial district, which in the day, I don't know the year, someone out there will know, the buy-in, the shared debt cost was $8,000. We know that the downtown district, as I refer to it, is $17,000. It's within hundreds of dollars for their portion of the debt repayment. Looking ahead to costs and what it's going to cost to replace pumps, control panels, generators at some point. We had an issue this winter where we had a blockage, and it was tracked to our main line along M68. We had to call in a company to, on an emergency basis, clean out that plug, and it was nothing more than compacted sludge, sewage sludge. Looking back, that's never been done. Another maintenance item that's never been done. So looking ahead, talking to other sewer districts, to the operators, to do preventive maintenance. You know, we've been living this dream for 15 months with the boiler and the HVAC, the air conditioning and whatnot. We need to make sure that we can afford to replace our pumps. Last year, the year before, Chris, do you recall, we replaced 2 pumps in the commercial to the tune of
20 or 29,000.
So we need to plan ahead. We have hopefully a phase 3 coming on, and yes, economies of scale would say that many hands, we would all take a smaller bit of it. But is it equitable to ask for these 2 new phases to pay for the infrastructure failings that are coming at 8? It's about 12 to 13 years old. I have no idea what these pumps are going to cost. I have no idea what these control panels are going to cost. I don't know how many miles of lines we're going to have that are going to have to be cleaned out. We have some new businesses coming in, and we know that as new business comes in, they pay an REU assessment. We don't finance that. If you were here on the ground level and part of that initial debt, you get that benefit of 40 years. Whether you take that 40 years or you do something different, that's on you. My putting together some numbers, just sitting and looking at the numbers that are provided by performance, thinking ahead about phase 3, looking at the cost to jet a line. I don't even know that it was as long as these 2 tables, and the amount of money that took. We need to start building a coffer that we can have available to replace pumps and some of the other infrastructure. My proposal is that we consider raising that REU for only the commercial district, only for new development, new growth. It doesn't affect anybody who's in existence now. It brings it more in line with what the current costs are, and we know those current costs to be what we're paying in phases 1 and 2. There's some data here, and I do apologize, board, that it took me so long to give it to you. I struggle with new business coming in paying 12-year-old rates for an REU. I don't know about any of you, but a car today costs different than it did 5 years ago.
I would like to propose that we, since we are getting our sewer report back from and I can never say the name.
Benzinski.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's on the 18th,
Mhm.
and we're gonna do a special meeting anyways for Ronan's place. If we
Mhm.
add this to the agenda item, and we'll have already heard back from the professionals on how we should handle this.
Okay, so, okay, fair.
She wants to table it?
Yep.
Yeah. Because I wish I only had to pay $8,000.
Yeah, and that is a
Seven-
preliminary,
18,000.
just so that the public knows, we contracted, if you all remember, we contracted with Benzinski. We contracted with Benzinski to do a rate study on operations and management, O&M. We've been upside down, we have not collected enough over the years. So they're doing a rate study, and they are incorporating what we had. What we had was the commercial. We've added 400 new users. We've doubled the size of the plant. They've also incorporated those costs to come up with what we perceive O&M. They've also been told that we are looking at a proposed third phase to incorporate that. It might be a little early, but I think economies of scale would dictate 600, I think we have 400, roughly 600 now. If we can get another 200, we're near 800. That piece of the puzzle is a little bit smaller for each of us. So that preliminary report is coming this month. Once we've seen it, then it will be presented to the public, and everyone will be welcome to come. And we'll publish that and make sure everyone knows. But this, I don't even know we get confused with the debt repayment, which is an REU, and then we have O&M. So most of us live in homes, and that's a 1 REU assessment. If you are in office building, it's 1 per whatever. There's a criteria sheet. And it goes, some of it goes by square footage, some of it goes by the machinery involved. And again, this would be for the commercial to bring it up to the same economic level that the public has paid in phases 1 and 2. So that's some history on where this information is coming from. And if you look at this, and I can make copies for anyone who might want to see it. We took the $8,000 starting back in 2012 and used the Department of Treasury's inflation rate multiplier and ran it through 2025, and it's running right around $11,000. You can do it on an average basis with just phases 1 and 2. That average is 17.5. If you use a blended average with phase 1, 2, and the commercial, it comes down to 14. If we throw in some comparable townships, Marion Township, the city of Petoskey, not all of the outlying area, just the city, and the number of hookups and connections, it brings that down to 12. So anyway, just information, and we will table that for the Benzinski report.
Point of order, you need to vote on her proposal.
Thank you. So we have that before us to table it until after the rate study preliminary, which is March
18th.
But that's not the date of the special meeting because we have to wait for that documentation from Ronan's place. So to be
I'll support Lori.
discussed at special meeting, which will be Ronan's gaming and sewer REU.
Probably like 24th or 25th.
I'm not willing to set the date yet. We need to
Okay.
check the schedules.
All right.
We have some people with wild, wacky schedules, so. Okay, so the motion is to table it to the special meeting at a date to be determined where we will discuss Ronan's Place gaming request, resolution, and this REU discussion.
I supported it.
Okay. You made the motion?
She made the
Oh,
motion.
sorry.
Okay.
Okay, and any other comments, questions, concerns by the board? All in favor of tabling, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And the RFP for the PER for P3. If you aren't confused now, you will be. Which has been provided to us, we'll tweak that. Patty, I'll take you up on that. So do we have authorization?
I'll make the motion to allow the supervisor to draft an RFP for Phase 3 sewer.
And I support that.
So it's an RFP for PER
RFP.
for Phase 3. Okay, let's get the terminology right. Okay, thank you.
And I'll support that.
Any conversation, discussion, questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Public comments.
One word, thank you.
You're welcome.
No, appreciate it.
Thank
Any
the group for taking the bull by the horns and getting that part started on your end.
We've
And-
only begun.
Yeah.
It's a long haul.
Any other public comment? Sure.
Name's Rod Grandy. I just wanted to piggyback off what Ron talked about earlier on the FOIAs. I too sent in a FOIA for any communication with the Treasury Department related to loss of revenue sharing or inability to borrow money, things like that. I don't think this is Mr. Hutchinson's fault because he sends out for the information, he gets what he gets, and it comes back to me. I've got 2 letters here. I think it's what Ron's referring to is exactly what I asked for. I never got it. I'm willing to share it with you. I pulled it off the Treasury website. So when we send these FOIAs in and you don't get it back, it just automatically triggers, what are you trying to hide?
And it's not the 2025 audit, it's the 2024 audit, correct?
There's 24, yes.
Okay.
And I think maybe 25. I did I received the one that was sent out early 26. The other 2 I never got. That's when you guys were, running the board. And just so I want to explain what I'm going to ask for. I am going to send a FOIA this week so that you know what I'm looking for. For any contract signed in the last 12 months, any communication related to that, board minutes, any communication between the board, outside of the sewer district, unrelated to the sewer. So if you have any questions, you can ask me after the meeting what I'm asking for. I'll send it this week. So it's just any contract signed, and any meeting minutes, and any communication about those contracts outside of the sewer.
Okay. The more specific you are, the easier it is for us to try to gather.
I'll put it in the email.
Okay.
I'll put it in
Because
the
when you
email to
say
you.
contracts.
Contracts, any contracts with other government agencies, anything outside of the sewer business. And I'll explain it when I send her, I can talk to you.
Well, you have to put it in writing.
Yeah, oh, I
So,
will, for
yeah,
sure.
Okay.
Yep.
But again, the more specific anyone is,
Yeah, and this was very
easier
specific.
it
This
is.
is exactly what I asked for, and I never got.
okay.
And I'm willing to share that with you, because I think it puts Mr. Hutchinson in a no-win situation. He just gets what he gets from the clerk, and it comes to us, and if it's incomplete, it's really not his fault. It's what he's given. So, thanks.
And, yes, ma'am, you don't have to take this unless you want to.
Oh, come on up. It's hard walking these days, I'm considered an old person. So
I don't believe it for a minute.
letting me do that. I want to express a concern about, I think I heard when Jonathan did the FOIA report that you're not charging anything for the FOIA requests. And the last thing that I was taught by my mother was there was never a free lunch. And it sounds, I had no idea, I knew because you report how many FOIAs you get, but I had no idea how lengthy they are. And just listening to this one, I think that somebody's spending a tremendous amount of time to pull that through, particularly when you took over a year ago or a year and 3 months ago, that the records weren't in exactly perfect shape. And so I think that you ought to give serious consideration to helping the taxpayer out when they're spending your time not doing taxpayer work, they're taking time to do an individual's work.
Thank you. Any other public comments? No? Okay. Board comments.
I just like to say that as far as FOIAs go, when you're asking for board meeting packets, anything to do with the audit, that's stuff that, and it says right with the FOIA, and Rob Huth has even said that that's something that you can go and get yourself. If it's right there, if it's online, we're not going to provide it. It's right there. So if it's a board meeting packet you're looking for, you can scroll through all of our board meeting packets and find what you're looking for.
With regard to, there was a comment made about the inability to borrow money. That letter related to the audit for the period ending June 30th of 2024. Okay, just so that we're in the right time frame here. That letter is available on the State of Michigan website. It's local document search. If you put that in your browser, it'll take you to it. There are some drop-down menus. You'll put in your county, your township, the year that you want, and it will populate. With regard to the audit, we were late getting it in. It's supposed to be into the state by December 31st. We asked for an extension because we had how many months worth of bank recs to do?
More than a year.
Yeah. And the auditors wouldn't work with us until those were done. We worked very hard around the clock, many of us, and we asked for an extension. We were denied by the state of Michigan. So yes, there was a letter dinging us for it being tardy. That again was for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2024. With regard to the audit, and indeed there is a letter out there that said because the taxes were not disseminated according to the law, which it requires that they go out every 2 weeks, that was not done. And so in fact the township was prevented from issuing any bonds should they have wanted to. And that too is in a letter for the audit period ending June 30, 2024. We submitted the audit for the period ending June 30, 2025 timely. We heard that from Mr. Berlin last month. There were letters in there that said you can issue bonds if you so choose. Each year is taken as its own. We had corrective actions for the period ending June 30, 2024, and there should be a letter in there. Same thing for June 30, 2025. Those are all in that local document search. It gets a bit cumbersome. It will be a page. It might be a screen and a line. I can't remember. They are out there for you. Go home, type in local document search, and have at it. Each year is taken as its own. So this year's audit has taken care of the letters from the state that we received for the audit period June 30, 2024. The June 30, 2025 audit was clean, and we heard Mr. Berlin say that. We have taken some corrective actions here as advised by the auditors. We don't have a big staff. Most small townships will get dinged hard. You get dinged, you don't have enough people. We didn't get dinged for not having bank recs done. They're done every month.
Right, absolutely. We didn't get dinged for now.
We submitted our audit timely. They asked, the taxes were dispersed every 2 weeks according to the Michigan law. We are not in a situation where we're not getting revenue sharing. We've continued to get revenue sharing. That's the stick for the state. I understand that. We are in complete compliance. Any other board comments? Motion to adjourn at 8:10.
Motion.
Thank you. 481 days.